Okay, now we will see the implementation of question 2. So basically in all the stat, question 2 is the same. It's just with a different addressing number, with a different addressing for each of the input output. So I'm just going to explain once here for all question 2 for all the sets. Okay, so remember that we have a three station. So in whenever we reach that station, the conveyor should stop and the solenoid should work for some seconds. Okay, so for any program that uses shift register, that we know that the first rung and second rung must be set up in the first place. So in this case, I use H0 as the accumulator. Okay, so that to make sure the bit is loaded here, it's important to put a hash in front of 1, because then we with hash we are declaring this as a BCD. So this is a 1 number instead of a hex number. Okay, so then we like I said, when we declare the steps, we know that the process itself, the flow itself, starts with conveyor moving and then stop. At the same time, when it's stopping, it has to extend the solenoid for the amount of time referring to each station lah. Okay, so when you reach that station, the indicator that you reach that station is you reach a there is a sensor that detects that it is the station that you need to stop. Okay, so basically the setup previously that I said, we have to declare for each of the line, or for each of the step, that what is how it starts and how it ends. Okay, so the addressing is done by like the first bit, and then it ends at the sensor, then it will change to the second bit, and then it ends with the timer, and so on. Okay, so we're just going to shrink this a bit so that we can see the rest of the operation. Okay, so I'm going to simulate right now. Okay, so I press the start bit. Okay, and we now know that the conveyor motor should run, okay, until it reaches stamping sensor. So we can see that the rest of the output is not working. Okay, so only the conveyor. And then when we reach the stamping sensor, it should stop the conveyor motor and the timer should start. Okay, so if I press set on here, and you can see that the timer has started. Okay, so after the timer is finished, we can see that the conveyor motor starts again. Okay, so the conveyor motor starts again after timer is finished, of course, because this is the ending of the second process, which is it starts at H001 and ends with a timer completion. Okay, so now the conveyor motor starts again until it reaches the labeling sensor. Okay, so I'll just turn off this one first because it already passes the stepping sensor. So if I go a little bit down so that we can see the labeling part. Okay, so this is the labeling timer. Okay, so if I set this on, so basically you have reached the labeling station. So here, set on, and you can see that it's working. Okay, and when the timer is completed, you can see here it shifts straight away to H04. Okay, so that's a completion. You can't really see because it's really fast. Okay, once the completion of the timer is done, it shifts the next bit to the next H0.04. Okay, now okay, I'm going to turn off this one. Okay, we can see that the conveyor is now moving again, and then it should reach the packaging sensor. Okay, so when it reaches the packaging sensor, obviously we're going to see that the timer is supposed to be working. Okay, so I'm just gonna shrink this a bit so we can see everything. So when it reaches the packaging sensor, then the timer will start working, and you can see that after the timer is finished, we should loop back. So the conveyor should start again, and H00 should on again. Okay, so then you can see now we loop back. We already loop back. Why? Because after H005, we know that it's going to go to H006. Okay, so H006 will just move the bit again to the end so that we start the loop again. Okay, we start at H00 again. Okay, so this is how the loop happens.